Good morning, August 25th, Sunday morning, a little after 8:30 on the Appalachian Trail, right outside the Ty River, going up the Priest. A little day hike today, a little over 9 miles, 3,400 feet in elevation change. So this is one of the most elevation changes on the Appalachian Trail. Going through the green tunnel, but there'll be a couple peekaboo views along the way. And looking forward to an excellent day here in the Commonwealth. On the AT, on the way to the Priest Shelter. 15 minutes into the hike, one of the many iconic white blazes. Trail conditions excellent. Anywhere from about a 5 to 15% grade. Mile 1 at 1 hour, so exactly 1 mile an hour. So not yet 10 o'clock, but I will assert that we have done 1 by 10. So no race today. Had to leave the RVA, that's the local vernacular for Richmond, Virginia, early. And I'm with my sister. She's a single who. She's not too much for the early morning departures, so after some intense hostage negotiations, she agreed to leave at 6. Nonetheless, we're got an excellent pace. A little humid, but keeping the heart rate down so we don't exert ourselves too much. Want her to come back on one of these hikes. But I will say it's awesome to be on the Appalachian Trail in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Virginia is fortunate to have the largest section of any state of the Appalachian Trail. I've done a couple sections, Mount Rogers, McCafe Knob, and this section. And so this will be the 4th time I will have done this. First time was May 1984. It's a shakedown hike. I was 15 at the time, getting ready to go to Philmont Scout Camp. The second time was February 1987. I was a freshman at VMI. I was a shakedown for our expedition over spring break to the White Mountains. So we started at the base. It was 34 and raining. Got to the top. It was 30 degrees and raining, freezing rain. Fortunately, the Priest Shelter gave us the shelter we needed so we could rest up for the return. And then I did this in August 2020 during COVID. So, no hikers that I've seen yet. Maybe about 10 cars at the trailhead. They all had dew on them, so either they got here really early or they're camping. So here's a good water source. Got plenty of water. I do have my filter, so if I need it, we got it on the return. All right, going up. So it's 10 o'clock. Done 1.3 miles, which is certainly okay. We stopped at the last water source along the way. Did a standing 10. Ideally you do a standing 5, but want to make sure we're good before we step foot any farther. So this is the pace we're going. Good pace. Keep the heart rate down. Trail conditions continue to be excellent. No blowdowns, So in the hour and 20 minutes we've been on the trail, we've seen one other hiker, which I don't know, I would have thought maybe a few more people would be out here, but unlikely to see any through hikers. The bubble is way north. Mile 2 in 2 hours and 10 minutes, but we did stop and speak to some weekend campers. One of them had something in common. We were both DNF on the PCT. She made it to mile 90 and then had to take care of family obligations. So great talking to other hikers. Good pace. Trail conditions remain excellent. Still pretty good treadway. And since we're at the 2 hour mark, we're gonna do a quick standing 5. As Energizer would say, first view of the morning. Although it took us 2 hours and 42 minutes to get to this view at around mile 2.5. So, excellent hike. Mile 3, and only the second blowdown. 3 hours, 21 minutes. On the ridge line, little flat spot. And then just looking at the profile elevation, do got a couple hundred feet of trail ahead of us that the grade is over 20%. I remember this section in February of 1987. We had about 18 inches of snow. We were post-holing. It was raining, it was 30 degrees. We were not happy, but we knew there was a shelter ahead, so we could get some safety there. So, putting the phone away, time to go up the rocky section. Looking at the profile, we are almost to the top of the climb with a little bit of flat to get to the rock outcrop. This is about the extent of the rockiness of the trail. Hard to display the steepness, about 15-20%. Trail's in great condition now. Somebody is coming here and cleaned off the vegetation. When I did this in 2020, it was like going through a car wash. All right, at the 4 hour mark on the hike, we just made it over the tough climb. Just a gradual uphill from here. A couple hundred more yards, get to the rock outcropping. So, certainly a very, very deliberate climb. Watching foot placement, using the trekking poles. Less than a mile an hour. Conserve energy. You can do a lot if you go slow. So, a little bit more, and it'll be lunchtime. I will shout out to the trail maintainers on this trail. It is in excellent shape and not brushing up against any plants, in particular poison ivy. So great hike. Made it to the rock outcropping, well past the summit, but one of the few places you can see. So that means it's lunchtime. The single who Lisa brought the chicken shaker, much better than the Spam. No lunch on the trail is complete without the Fritos. Giddy up. Quick panorama of the viewpoint at the Priest. There's the single who. All right, coming off the little spur trail. And now back on the AT. You know, our friends at All Trails doesn't show the spur trails, so if you're an AT thru hiker, you don't know about it, and you're using All Trails, you'll blow right past it. And I did see so this is the vicinity of the Priest Summit, 4,026 feet. Last time I was up here in 2020, I was trouncing through that, trying to find a benchmark. I'm not going to look again, but I do think that point right there is the high point on the Priest. All right, going down, lengthen the poles, and slow and steady. Got to watch foot placement, because usually towards the end of the day, when you're tired, good opportunity to roll an ankle. Making good progress going downhill. Did pull over for a hot minute. Came across a gentleman. He was Sobo on AT. He was doing a flip-flop. He started Harper's Ferry, went to Katahdin, and then went back down to Harper's Ferry, and now he's going south. But he is saying that age and repetitive use of his body is catching up with him. So hopefully I can do it before that happens to me. Anyways, great conversation with the gentleman. Always like talking to the thru hikers. Mile 3, and I'm not looking at the camera. A couple observations. You know, you can see some of the viewscape out there. Certainly going downhill gives a different perspective. Seems a little cooler, a few more clouds. But there were some people up at the rock outcrop, and one said she was a trail maintainer, which was really neat. And you know, my hiking partner H always says, don't complain, maintain. He helps take care of the Tuscarora Trail, but and I commented that the trail was clean. Well, on the way down, somebody left a toilet paper flower. So no attempt to bury it, pack out, none of that. So my record last year on the PCT, 800 miles rounded up. Didn't use a single sheet of toilet paper, and that may sound kind of TMI, too much information, but you know, those are things you got to consider out on the trail. And the bidet was certainly a game changer, and you know, reduce the risk of rash and other stuff. So you know, leave the toilet paper at home. And I do remember, you know, I was in Iraq, and somehow I ended up doing detainee overwatch for a bunch of detainees. We built a prison, and then we had to man it. So the Iraqis, we'd have to escort them to the porta potties, and they would just carry a bar of soap and a water bottle. I'm like, man, that's odd. Well, maybe they were onto something. So bar of soap and water bottle, much better than toilet paper. 6 hours into the hike, 2.8 miles to go. Nice steady pace going downhill. Always being cautious. So I saw this in front of me, a couple hundred feet behind me, but just wanted to show the viewpoint of the last peekaboo view that we'll encounter. So this is about mile 2.6 from the trailhead, approximately. There's the road we came in on. spectacular. 2 miles to go to the trailhead. We'll stop at the creek, just down a bunch of water, and then keep going. 7 hours of hiking, 1.2 miles to go, and I think I hear the creek. So I'll get a little bit of water and camel up. Stop to camel up, get some water, head down, 1.1 miles to go. 1 mile to go. Been hiking for 7 hours, 18 minutes. This section of trail is in great condition. Not too steep, not many rocks or roots. And just a great day. Temperatures great, a little bit of humidity, but a cloud came in and covered the sun for a little bit, cooled it down. Kept a really slow pace on purpose. Didn't want to wear out the single who. My sister Lisa, hopefully she'll do this again or something else. But just a great day. Here's a double blaze. When you come across a double blaze, that means there's an intersection ahead, and the blaze on the top, whether it's to the right or to the left, is the direction that you go to stay on the AT. Tidbit of trivia. H taught me that. All right, finishing up day hike on the Priest. A little over 8 miles. We didn't make it to the shelter. 7 hours, 55 minutes, 3,400 feet of elevation gain and loss. Great hike with the single who. Mile marker out.